Hey everyone, welcome to Garnock Reviews, where today we're looking at a 2001 Selene 43 trawler yacht. I'd like to thank a good friend, Mark Ziegler, who currently has this boat for sale, and it's laying in Jacksonville, Florida, and he has it listed for just under $400,000. This boat offers exceptional seakeeping qualities, especially for a boat of its size, from its high bow to its solid construction and to its heavy weight. It's got a dry weight of 56,000 pounds, and that includes 3,000 pounds of ballast. This boat's just as happy cruising along the intercoastal doing the Great Loop as it is heading offshore to across to the Bahamas. The boat benefits from having a fully enclosed wheelhouse. It's also got Flybridge steering, high guardrails all round, and a slight overhang from the flybridge so that you always feel safe and enclosed regardless of weather. The current owner of this boat has upgraded the boat to make it even easier for single-handed operation. On both port and starboard side, you'll see you've got engine controls, bow thruster and stern thruster for docking. And later on you'll see there's even a remote control for the bow and stern thrusters, so you can help keep it pinned against the pontoon whenever you're taking lines on and off. In front of the wheelhouse there's a storage compartment, and that leads out to the Portuguese deck. And you'll see here, not only is it self-draining, but it's also got additional runoffs so that if you do take on large weather, you'll always feel safe and secure. I've got two anchors up front, I've got a strong Samson post, and there's plenty of cleats for securing all the lines. If you notice, the cleats are actually recessed so that nothing gets caught on them and nobody trips on them, etc. There's also additional storage within the Portuguese deck, and that's currently being used for life jackets and safety equipment, so that it's easy to grab in an emergency. As we continue to head round, you can see how wide the decks are and how easy it is to walk around, where everything's to the side, there's nothing to trip on or anything like that. And we do also have fishing rod holders throughout the boat. This boat is designed for fishing while you're at anchor or while you're trawling, as well as for cruising. And one of the design features I like of this boat, which doesn't particularly apply in the current marina, but it has got large side doors on both sides as well as on the transom. So if you are tied up to your traditional pontoons, it is very easy to get on and off the boat. You don't have to climb over the boat, you can just walk through the passageway. As we head back to the stern, if you notice, we've actually got not only a self-draining cockpit, but we've actually got scuppers on this boat, which is something you normally only see in commercial boats. But again, it's designed for heavy weather use, so if we do, for whatever reason, have waves come over the deck, it can drain out quicker than doing it this way. We've also got the recessed cleats again, keeping everything out of sight. And we've also got a hot and cold shower, so that if you come in from the bathing platform, you can always freshen up before heading on board. If you notice underneath the flybridge along the companionway, you'll see that there's a number of overhead lights. One of the features I liked about this boat is they typically have got a white light, as you would expect, but at a quick flick of a switch you can make these red lights for night vision and for cruising at night. I just thought it was a neat little feature. And the owners also installed lighting throughout for the steps, just to keep everything illuminated. In the port quarter, we do have the fishing station. This offers good storage for all your bait and tackle and equipment and things like that, and it keeps it outside of the boat so you don't have to worry about any of the smells or anything like that coming through the accommodation. And lastly, before we head inside, we also have a large lazarette. Not only does this offer storage, but it also offers emergency access to the rudder, so if for whatever reason there was a steering impact, you can do this manually through here. First impressions when you walk through into the saloon and galley area is just the high quality craftsmanship you'll see throughout the boat. The woodwork is very bright, makes you feel very home, very airy. There's windows throughout. These windows, they'll lock in any position you want. Everything about this boat is about seakeeping qualities. Every drawer you see has a lock to it. Every cabinet has a lock. And as you'll see as we'll go through this, the fridge freezer locks, you name it. So if this was to take on some sort of swell, you don't have to worry about everything opening and causing problems for you that way. While the saloon offers a L-shaped seating area, the table actually winds down and they can convert into a double berth. Forward you'll see the galley. I've got 2 bar stools here. This galley is fully equipped for long range cruising, including microwave, fridge, freezer. It's got a 3-burner gas stove, and it's also got the oven as well. And there is ample storage here, not only for things like plates and cups and utensils, but also for all your produce and canned goods, etc. As we head down the port side, you'll see there's a small passageway here. There's a washer and dryer at the bottom of it, again just for long range cruising. And then this boat's got very special accommodation. To the port side we have got a twin guest cabin, just basically bunk beds, and there's plenty of storage in here. But if privacy is not exactly your priority, this one actually opens up. The door folds back and it makes it more of an open cabin, and it makes it far easier for walking around. And you'll see to the forward we have got the owner's master suite. This is a very bright and airy cabin to be in. I'm 6'2" and I've had no issues with headroom throughout this boat. You'll see that there's storage to either side of the berth. There's also an overhead hatch, which is great not only for ventilation, but worst case scenario can also be used as an emergency access hatch. There's a television and just a very enjoyable place to be to relax. This cabin is en suite, has got its own shower, toilet, sink. Then we also have the guest head compartment, which also doubles up as the day head. And it's from the accommodation that we have access to the engine room. Being honest, it's not easy to film down here, so the video probably doesn't do it justice, but this has got a single 180 horsepower Cummins diesel engine. This is a 6BT 5.9M diesel engine. It's got less than 3,000 hours on the clock. And there's approximately 300 gallons from the water tanks, 900 gallons from the fuel tanks, and 40 gallons from the holding tanks. There's a lot of equipment in this engine room. It's all clearly labelled, it's all accessible, it's easy to maintain, both for routine maintenance and also an emergency. But you do have things like there's a lanyard stabilizer hydraulic system, there's 2 air conditioning systems. You've got freshwater pumps, you've got sump pumps, bilge pumps, you name it, everything's all here to give you that confidence for heading offshore or for taking long distance passages. This boat has been serviced and maintained regardless of cost. Just as an example, in 2019 it's got new engine mounts and alignment. 2018 they replaced the batteries for the thrusters, and in 2020 there was a water maker installed. It's approximately 20 gallons per hour. This boat recently made its way to Jacksonville from down in the Tampa Bay area, and this boat's just ready to go again, turn key and go. As you move back up to the saloon, I really do appreciate the illuminated walkway, high quality wood finish, plenty of grab rails to hold on to. And then as we walk around, if you go to the starboard side, to the other side of the galley, there's a passageway that leads up to the wheelhouse. The wheelhouse is accessible both port and starboard. I've got it shown here where the starboard door is wide open and the port side is like a barn door where the top half is open and the bottom is locked. Both doors can do this, but it's just to show the effect. You've got an illuminated master switch panel. It's all clearly labelled. Stepping on the boat, even without the owner present, I could straight away understand what everything was for and how to turn things on and off. The wheelhouse design kind of reminds me of offshore fishing boats and commercial boats. But if you notice, there's grab rails everywhere. There's grab rails at waist level and next to the wheel. There's grab rails on the roof. There's grab rails on the doors and at the side. It's just ready to take on rough weather if ever need be. I like the fact that there's a large bench seat here, so that way if it's husband and wife or if it's a family or something like that, you can all cruise together with it without being separated. Behind this bench seat there is actually a single berth, which is great for being close to whoever's at the wheel if you want to take it in shifts. It's also for anchor watch and things like that. The boat comes well equipped with the electronics and the pilot house itself. We've got a Garmin VHF. We've got a 16-inch GPS map that's got touchscreen with a radar and chart plotter. This was installed in 2017. And there's also a 12-inch display, which again is radar chart plotter, and it was in 2017 as well. There's a Raymarine autopilot, and this has actually got a remote control, so if you wanted to, you can actually sit back on the bench seat and you can control it from the remote. It's got an AIS system, so that way you can track all the commercial vessels, which is really important for passage making. You obviously have your full engine instrumentation, and there's also a second Garmin VHF and clock and barometer. You can also control the anchor windlass from here, both with a remote, and there's also a control unit on the dash. That way you can raise and lower it. Again, you can do everything single-handed. You can monitor the chart plotter, you can find that perfect spot and take it all control from the helm. The main anchor on this boat is a 7 to 8 pound anchor, and there's 250 foot of chain. As you head round to the port side, again there's an illuminated passageway, and this takes you up to the Flybridge access. There's plenty of strong grab rails here, making you feel very safe and secure. There's a hatchway back to the aft cockpit. I've got an undercover tender here, and this is an 11-foot apex rib. It's got a hard bottom inflatable, and this was replaced in 2018. It's got a 9.9 Yamaha outboard, and it's got somewhere in the region of 10 hours. Flybridge is also where the life raft is stored, as well as other safety equipment. And you get two very comfortable chairs at the helm position. And you've got two Garmin 12-inch touchscreen repeaters of the same equipment we've got down in the main helm. So you get radar, chart plotter, things like that. You get a VHF, and you've got the compass and full engine instrumentation. There's also additional storage up here for charts. And this is all protected out of the weather, so you don't need to worry about rain and things. And the Flybridge itself, this is all enclosed under the bimini top. If you wanted to, you can take it down, but it's also nice having that shade and protection. I'd like to thank you for your time for watching this video. I'd like to thank Mark Ziegler again for allowing us on board, and I look forward to catching you on the next one. Thanks everyone.